Peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Amaje Hardy Jones, and I'm your host of episode 49 of Aspire to Inspire, where we interview industry professionals. Today, I have the honor and privilege of interviewing working actor Derrick King. I'm going to read some of his credits for you guys. He stars in the CW drama series 4400. The show centers around how the government races to analyze the potential threat and contain the story of the 4400's return. His film credits also include TV shows such as NCIS Los Angeles, The Game, which will be streaming on Paramount Plus, as well as Call Your Mother, and so much more. I am so honored and grateful to interview an amazing individual. Without further ado, I'm going to bring him onto our virtual stage where he will share his journey without the entertainment industry. So, Derrick King, hi, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. First off, as I stated before, I'm very, very grateful to have you on this Aspire to Inspire platform. I, for one, am extremely grateful to be able to highlight a number of actors on this platform, but I'm very, very excited to be interviewing you, hearing about your story and how you got to where you are today. So, honestly, without further ado, I like to open up this interview with an icebreaker. Let the viewers know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Derrick A. King. I am from PG County, Maryland, and I'm an actor. That's what I do. I communicate stories for people to feel and experience. One of my favorite things are wings. I love buffalo wings with ranch. I think that's important to know about me. And I'm learning how to play the guitar right now. I am on a 99-day streak on Duolingo, learning Spanish. Mi español is not great. But 99 days in, I don't know, it's kind of difficult when you don't, when you're not immersed in the culture. But I am on a 99-day streak, at least 5 minutes a day. And yeah, that's pretty much me right now. I think that's some fun facts for you.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to know, and I'm grateful for you to share that. Just diving a little bit more about you as an actor, you're a storyteller overall. How did that journey of wanting to pursue acting begin? When did you catch the acting bug?
Well, I grew up in performing arts schools, so I went to Thomas G. Pullen Middle School. It's the same. It's the same. Actually, elementary and middle school to magnet school. Martin Lawrence went there as well. But I was a major in theater. Fifth grade, we got to pick a major. Mine was theater, and I kind of followed that same route into high school. For my freshman year, I went to Suitland High School, and I was in their theater program. So the bug to act is really something that has been in me since I can literally remember, since kindergarten. And it went away when I started, growing into my adult years or my pre-adult years, going to college and whatnot. I kind of spread myself thin with a bunch of different activities, just kind of growing up. And then when I moved to LA in 2015, yeah, I moved to LA for my job. Actually, I worked for Nestle USA. I worked in sales. And my job moved me to LA. And then, I'm looking left and I'm looking right. And I'm seeing what the town is offering. And my passion for acting got reinvigorated in that process. And I became a full-time actor in 2017. I dedicated my life to it. And here I am.
Yeah, here you are today. And I think with that story being told, it just shows that it can come at any time, but it seems as though you kind of had a nick for it for a very, very long time, and to actually take it seriously and to see where you are today. I'm sure you have an amazing story to tell about your journey, the trials and tribulations that came along with it. And with that being said, there's a lot of misconceptions that can come from the job of an actor. If you mind me asking, Derrick, in your personal opinion, what do you believe is one of the biggest misconceptions individuals may have about the job of an actor? There's tons, but have you ever stumbled across one that a lot of people have geared towards you?
Um, and you're asking to the job in general or
To the
to
job
the
of an
perception of
actor,
an actor?
or yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think the perception of an actor, of actors wanting to, I guess, be famous or be role models, and I think that's pretty much any famous person, there's this misconception that if you love your art, you also want to be like a role model, or you also want to be famous. Now, me personally, I do step into the role of being interested in being a role model or being a leader or an influence for people I aspire to inspire. No pun intended, but all pun intended actually. But no, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just really good at what they do. A lot of people are just really great musicians. People are just really great artists. And then because they gain the fame behind it, it's assumed that like you should be acting this way or doing these things because people are watching you. And I've always thought that was a very common misconception that I see a lot of people get in trouble because of that misconception.
Mm.
And if we're talking about acting in general,
Yeah.
I think I really do think there's a misconception that acting is easy. And I think that happens because so many people are able to do it because of the business of acting. Because you could just be famous, you could be a musician, you could be popular on TikTok or something like that, and you can get an acting job because of the money behind it and the business.
Right. Oh.
I'm sorry, that was me. I need to put my stuff on Do Not Disturb.
You're okay.
But that is not the case at all, because when you you know, I mean, stepping on a stage or stepping on a set, and you have hundreds of people, literally at least 50 to 100 people watching you, uh, and you're putting yourself in these imaginary circumstances in front of so many people, and you have to dive into different places. It may be easy to do certain things. It may be easier than not to do certain things, but a lot of the times you're seeing 5, 6, 7, 8 different takes of a person that you're like, oh yeah, they did great. It's like, yeah, it took them 2 hours to get there, versus a
Right.
professional actor that can come on set and take direction and do it in a take or two. So it's not easy. Sometimes it's made to look easy, but it's a very difficult profession.
That is very, very true. And as someone, just listening to what you're saying, you're very dedicated to the craft. And I like how you said that with the roles you play, or not necessarily the roles you play, but you desire to aspire to inspire, to be a leader, and to play these roles in an authentic way. Because yes, there is a certain world we live in which fame could be an instant thing, or that acting can be generalized as fame or success or just money. But no, ultimately it's about loving the craft, learning about oneself and how other people, stepping into their shoes and playing those type of roles. So I want to commend you for talking about that, because that is one of the biggest misconceptions that I always ask my guests, and this answer always comes about that acting is easy. And honestly, it is not. So thank you for being honest and upfront about that, especially for viewers watching who want to learn more about acting. So I really appreciate you, Derrick, for sharing that.
No problem.
Yeah, of course, of course. Kind of transitioning from the misconceptions of a working actor onto the roles that you have played thus far. As I have here on the ticker below, you've played on CW, The 4400, Call Your Mother, The Game, and so much more. I commend you for your numerous amount of film credits and television credits that you've had. It's definitely admirable. Let me ask you this: with booking the role, and with booking any type of role, is there a type of approach that you have for a character? If so, what is it? What is your process of going through it?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like anybody that's good at anything has to have a process, a technique, something they go to produce at a high level. And for me, there's a base, right? And I don't want to give away all my sauce, but I will say
Oh,
base is I'll give what I can. The base is looking at the material, find out what's relatable to me and the character, find out how I feel about the material, what genre, what is the given circumstance, what is the relationship between me and all the other characters that I'll be dealing with in the scene or in the project. And I kind of build my character from there. I'm really big on nuances, and I'm really big on costumes. Those are my two things. Like, you put me in a costume and I'll act totally different. You put me in the right clothes, you can put a cowboy hat on me right now and my voice will change, right? So, but that's something that doesn't normally happen until you get on set. But as far as the nuances, I feel like the nuance of people is what's fun to dive into for me. And it's that I feel like will set me apart, or has and will continue to set me apart from other actors that are kind of just reciting lines. You know, a
Mm,
lot of people get scripts and they'll memorize them and then they're ready to perform. Me, I need to memorize the words just for the sake of the fact that you need to know what you're saying. But my thing is like, who am I going to make this guy? What is he going to offer his scene partner in the world? Right.
right.
And I build my character on top of that.
Yeah, that's definitely, I'm honestly in awe because there's so much that goes into it that not a lot of people realize. And of course, you can just memorize sides and put it on in front of a camera, but the nuance is what makes you stand apart. And I think, in the day and age we are in, especially with self tapes, it's kind of harder than ever than to create those nuances and make them effective where people can be like, oh, that was an interesting take to see, or that was something different than what everybody else is doing than just memorizing. And just picking up on you stated nuances, with the characters that you have played thus far in your acting career, I want to ask you, do you have a particular favorite where you felt as though that the nuances you gave that character, it was able to, I guess, impact you in a certain way? Or the question should be geared towards, have you had a character that you played that really has impacted you in your acting career or you learned the most from?
Yeah. So the character I learned the most from, I learned the most of the process of creating the character was it was never released, so you wouldn't be able to see it. But it was a project called Baselines, and it was created and directed, written and directed by a filmmaker named Nate Parker. He is and that's somebody that you can look up and see his work. He's done some pretty amazing things, and he has a really storied career. But I worked with him. He was a writer and director on it, and that was the first time that I got to make certain decisions, like what my character listened to. He was a former basketball player that wound up going to jail for a while and got out. So I knew stuff which I don't remember now because I let those things go after it didn't go a certain way, the project. But I knew how large the diameter of the basketball rim was, how far the 3 point line was, who my favorite player was growing up. So I have like a Allen Iverson screenshot on my phone, for my background. I had a playlist for him in iTunes, and then
Mm,
actually shooting the project, playing Tyreek had me in a place where able to I was able to learn what it took to be an excellent actor because of the direction I was being given by Nate Parker and him being an excellent actor.
mm,
And that is a place in my career that forever changed me as an actor and will shape my career. There's a lot of work I do now that people compliment my stillness or my skill, my talent. And I'm like, that really happened on that set. So I kind of always have this fond memory and grace and gratefulness for that role and that character that
mm.
you'll never see.
Yeah, and I think what's beautiful is that with every experience you have on set, there's something that you can definitely take away, or something that you can definitely, or something that sticks with you and really helps you in the long run. And it definitely seemed as though, even though the project didn't come out, I'm sure it was absolutely amazing. I, wish, of course,
Some of
the
my
world.
best work for sure. Some of my best work that will never be seen. It's so crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's like the sacrifices we have to make, especially as artists. Sometimes our work may never be seen, or even if it does, those experiences that we have, the knowledge that we gained while being there, it builds us into better individuals, as better actors, and also as better creatives. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. I love that. Even though it didn't come out, I'm a little heartbroken because, we didn't get to see it. But aside from that, I'm really big on inspiration. And of course, with the world around us, there's always someone or something or an individual who inspired us to be who we are today. So, Derrick, I ask you, who or what has been your biggest inspiration? It doesn't even have to be pertaining to an actor, but as a creative, who or what has inspired you to be the individual you are today?
Um, that's That's a tough one for me now because I've had answers in the past that were more specific. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be like, yeah, Denzel, it was a moment in Training Day that really inspired me to be an actor, which is true. The Lion King was definitely a huge inspiration for me to just open my imagination to just the fantastical elements of being in movies and stuff. Like, I still remember, like, I want to be a mighty king. Like that type of stuff, like, just had me around the house, just mind open. This is what I want. I want everything to be this big and this fantastic. Um, but now, just kind of where I am in life, where you're asking me this question, the thing that really inspires me now, my biggest inspiration, it constantly changes. Like, I'll see performances in movies or speeches, like Shirley Ralph's recent speech when she won an Emmy, or I just saw the Creed 3 trailer. It's stuff like that that really gets me fired up. Like, I see it and I really feel some type of way. Emotions are really like running through me at a very high level to inspire me to just want to, like, I need to go a little bit harder. I need to work out a little more. Like, I need a bigger role. Like, I need to push myself. It's those things, and I'm grateful for them, but I realize that they change as my seasons change. You know? And now I'm just in a place where I keep myself open to be inspired, open to be moved by, it could be a janitor at, my local gym that I may see something they do, or a kindness that they have. And I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of celebrity I want to be off of TV. Or then I'll see like the trailer of some movie and I'm like, oh, that's the type of person I want to be on screen. Or I'll see somebody do an interview and I'm like, oh, I love the way that they clearly explain that concept for people that didn't understand what that meant. I want to implement that into my speech pattern. So that's my inspiration. I guess I don't know if I'm giving a pinpoint answer, but my inspiration now is just being open to being inspired. The world is inspiring.
Yeah. And I have to say, out of the number of guests I've had, you being the 49th, that has to be the best answer I have heard thus far, because I've heard the prolific people of our time, the Denzels, the Chadwicks, the Violas, the list goes on. But to be able to be authentic with your answer and say that you're inspired in the moment and by day-to-day life and by the world around you, I think that's the true words of a thespian, a creative, an artist, someone who just soaks up what's around them and able to live a life accordingly to that. I strongly admire that. And I commend everything you've said to 100%, 100%. I love that answer. I'm just filled with so much joy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Best answer ever. And transitioning from that, I believe that as an artist, we always envision bigger and better. And like you said, when you hear people from interviews, you take that in, it makes you want to go harder and stronger and better. Derrick, I ask this question to all of my guests, and you can be as imaginative, as big of a thinker as you possibly want, but 5 to 10 years down the line, where do you desire to see your career? Where do you envision yourself?
Well, 5 to 10 years those are two totally different spots.
Well, they are. I will say that, yes. But in the future, so to say, let's give it 5 years. Let's give it 5 years.
Yeah,
a lot can happen
5 years. Absolutely. Within 5 years. So technically, I've been doing this professionally for 5 years. Like I said, I started in 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is like my 5th year being like, I'm a full-time actor and I'm dedicating myself to this. And to be able to see those credits running past the bottom of the screen now, when you talk about Call Your Mother on ABC, CBS's NCIS, Paramount Plus's The Game, CW's 4400. If I would have saw that 5 years ago, I would have been like, shut up. Shut up. So this is the right move, right? So I'm doing the right thing. I can only imagine what I will look back on 5 years from now and say, shut up. What view am I looking at? Right now I'm in Los Angeles looking over my balcony over here, and I see some palm trees, my plants, my money plant, and snake plant and stuff. But it's my 1-bedroom apartment that I really appreciate. 5 years from now, I could be looking over a skyline of a city comfortably with, you know what I mean, with a child even, that I'm like, yo, please, like, I'm on a, you know what I mean? I'm doing an interview and
Mhm.
really be in awe. It's important to have that vision of what it looks like, but I also like to have that mysterious nature of myself, or the, what is it? What do I call it? The infinitesimal aspect of things that I can't even imagine
Mm.
happening. But to pinpoint your question, I would like to be a household name by then, somebody that's kind of coming into, or somebody that has come into recognition from their peers. And when I say peers, I mean other actors, other creators in the craft, whether it be music, whether it be art, just other people that really love what they do and have decided to choose their craft and their passion over the accepted societal path of
Mhm.
um, schooling, then job and family, and those people that chose to be artists and art be in their life.
Mhm.
I want to have that recognition from them that he's one of the ones that did it and he's doing it well. I want my acting program. I have a program called Actors Rampage that is um, giving back to the acting community by building a community around just focusing on the love and passion of acting versus the techniques and the methods around it, just
Yeah.
keeping the joy alive. So I would love that for that to have some type of compound, some type of maybe apparel line, just something that's really noticed and built out to a place that it can't be ignored by anybody that's in this field.
Mm.
And I would like to be at a even further in my peace journey. A lot of this has to do. One thing I love about acting is that it's not just a craft to me; it's a lifestyle.
Mm.
In order to be empathetic to these characters and to give you characters the way I do, I have to first love and appreciate and be empathetic to myself. It's
Right.
hard for me to pretend to be somebody else when I'm also pretending to be who I am, right?
Right.
So I do work daily between meditation, the books I'm reading, and my common practices to be a best person. So 5 years from now, I can only imagine the piece that I found now. I can only imagine where I'm able to take it in the next 5 years, and hopefully, all those things are starting to come to a head where I'm comfortable financially, within family, within my mental space, so that I'm able to start and continue to give back in more powerful ways.
Mm. Yes. I first of all, snaps to
Yeah.
that, I'll say, because you ended off with something so beautiful. And what I'm hearing and what's resonating with me with everything you're saying is you have a big heart of service, and something that I believe is so essential in this thing called life is being of service and having peace and knowing who you are and being comfortable with who you are. And that's just something that resonated very, very, very well with me. And to find that peace and keep striving for it and mentioning, hopefully 5 years in the future, prayerfully, I will say, not hopefully, prayerfully, 5 years in the future, you see yourself as, you know, finding more peace within who you are and in the craft. And of course, being a household name and recognition. I think that's a wonderful thing. And definitely speaking life, I definitely see that for you. You're amazing. I'm astounded that you agreed to be on this show, first of all. And I'm forever grateful to have you a part of this and for sharing, what's definitely resonating with me. And I'm sure it will resonate with a lot of viewers watching this. So I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I have just one final question for you. It kind of just wraps up the whole interview and what Aspire to Inspire is about. This platform is just geared for individuals who want to know the ins and outs of the industry while also being inspired to carry out their dreams and make it into a reality. So, Derrick King, how do you desire to use your very own platform to inspire others and people you come across?
I think I've already started the grassroots of what that would look like for me, and I mentioned it in my last answer when I was talking about Actors Rampage and giving artists an opportunity or space to come and collect their thoughts and pursue their passion without the pressure of the things that happen when you actually do pursue your passion. Like, how much am I booking? This person beside me is booking more than me. Did I learn this technique? Am I better than the person in my class? In order to do anything at any high level, whether it be basketball or football, sports, and music and art, there had to be a moment where it was just purely joy, where it was nothing else but I love basketball. I love painting. Man, I really enjoy playing this trumpet. Oh man, I really love doing make believe. I really love putting clothes on people, right? And then you become a wardrobe stylist, or then you become the actor. So I want to continue to inspire people in that way and let people know that you can still be kind and be good while pursuing and doing what it is that you're doing on a high level. And I feel like if I can find a way to continue to be a good person while making strides in this industry, that is giving back. A lot of times the best change you can make is within yourself. A lot of times the best work you can do is inspire. And there's time for groundwork. There's some people that they inspire through their groundwork. Some people are on the ground. There's somebody right now dedicating your time to in a retirement home, helping older people, between their life now and their transition, things like that, or right now on Skid Row, giving out meals. Everybody has their role, but it's important to find out what yours is, right? And I feel like mine is inspiring through the voice and the talents that God has given me, without disappointing the people that believe in me or myself by cheapening that with the lack of hard work, or the lack of focus, or the lack of dedication or consistency. That commitment to stay consistent and dedicated and focused is me giving back. And as I do that, I'm sure God is going to plant the seeds in my mind to allow me to give back physically in more ways as well.
Yeah, that beautiful answer. That's scripture right there. That was pure poetry in my ears. Wow. What a beautiful way to conclude this interview, with words of not only inspiration, but of wisdom as well. Derrick, I wish you nothing but the best for your career. You're already doing amazing. I can already see that God is not finished with you yet. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to share your story on this platform with me. And I cannot wait for viewers to watch this episode 49 to be exact, of Aspire to Inspire. So thank you so much for your time. Stick around for a little bit towards the end. However, for our viewers out there, thank you so much for watching episode 49 of Aspire to Inspire, where we interview industry professionals. More episodes will be coming to you guys very, very soon. Until then, goodbye.